A few questions from, please.
I shall not make an argument ad hominem. My argument is ad bullshitem.
Okay.
You're violating all the rules of logic.
Of course we need to understand consciousness. Of course consciousness is vital to everything we do. Consciousness is something we are all aware of, is something profoundly difficult to understand. It's something that science desperately needs to understand. That we can surely agree upon. That does not mean the universe is conscious. That does not mean any of the things you've just said. It means that consciousness is a subject which is worthy of scientific exploration. Proper scientific exploration, which means understanding consciousness in terms of nervous systems. Possibly in the future in terms of computers, because it's conceivable that computing machines may reach the stage of complexity and organization that they too will experience subjective consciousness. But whatever experiences subjective consciousness is going to be complicated, is going to be a very large organization of lots of small parts interacting together in very complex ways. An atom will never be conscious, nor will a single cell.
So may I ask you a question? Have you ever engaged in self-reflection or self-awareness? Have you ever experienced transcendence? Have you ever questioned if perceptual reality is different from fundamental reality? Have you ever questioned the idea that science does not examine reality but creates models of reality? Have you ever thought that with computers will explain consciousness? Have you ever thought who will design those computers and where will those computers be conceived and constructed? If you have never experienced a fundamental, unique experience that has existed throughout history, through antiquity, it's called transcendence. It's experiencing the self. And it's the knowingness that the self of the individual is the self of the universe. I'm not talking this, creating this language by myself. This is the perennial philosophy that Aldous Huxley spoke about. It's what Gottfried Leibniz spoke about. The sages of the Upanishads spoke about. The transcendentalists like Emerson and Thoreau spoke about. But if you have never had the experience of what people call non-symbolic awareness,
okay, we have your question.
You have no
what
right
about
to comment on science being a complete
Deepak
way to understand reality.
Okay, the question is there.
I have experienced plenty of things which could be called transcendental. I've experienced the feeling of almost mystical wonder that I get when I look up at the stars, look up at the Milky Way, contemplate the galaxies receding from us, listen to a Schubert quintet, read a sonnet of Shakespeare. These are all things which only a human mind is capable of doing.
So may I ask you? Okay, sorry.
Only a human mind is capable of doing that. And a human mind is capable of doing those things because the human mind has been put together in the brain as a highly complicated organization that has evolved over some 4 billion years of evolution, putting together nervous systems. It is a stunning achievement of evolution to have put together the human brain that is capable of being moved by such things. I yield to no one in my capacity to be moved by what you call the transcendental. What I do not do, however, is to indulge in mystical nonsense about it being there before there were brains or the equivalent of brains.